knows it's Rich LaPerch, and therefore I don't have to pay for that download. Walmart will pick that up, and I think you'll see those policy management systems start to get implemented over the next couple of years, and they will be a big way in which the app ecosystem will continue to grow. Otherwise, you run into the European issue where people are downloading and have to pay for it themselves, and there's a lot of reticence to that.
Tell me there's a toll-free app market?
There is a toll-free app market coming.
I got two comments on that. So if you think about having a data plan on your phone, you literally actually don't need anything else today. You can get Google Voice for voice, you could get WhatsApp for messaging. There's nothing else that you would need theoretically once you have the data plan. It carries voice, it carries messaging, probably carries all the other services that you use today. So the carriers certainly have to figure out something. With the toll-free model, there's already some movements. For example, some carriers in Latin America or Asia, they're already thinking about building the way to move apps to their own app store is by saying, well, any apps that get downloaded from our app store don't get charged for data. So they could use, the carrier actually have a way to change the game again by using what they have. Same thing like web, like in the early, so some carriers have done is to say, well, if you come to any of our websites in the network, you don't get charged for data. But if you want to go to yahoo.com or google.com, guess what? That your meter starts running. So I think it'll get pretty interesting in the next couple of years.
Does that mean we're going to have peering plans again between network providers? I did that at UNet. That was no fun.
Okay, so I'm going to throw out a question here, and you guys think of another one. We've got a little more time. One of the things that I do as a technologist, and this happens in our company a lot, is we worry all about the product, building the product, designing the product, making it cool, like launching with Angry Birds and all that kind of stuff. And then when we're done, it's hard to sell. So for the audience, do you have suggestions for them about how they might market their or business-focused apps other than just sticking them in the store, right? For a consumer app, you put it in the store and everyone knows that's where you got to look for apps, more or less. Any suggestions that you would offer there?
If you're not part of the DC Lean startup group, I would go sign up tomorrow on that. I think that mentality, although maybe it came out of the consumer side, still applies to the enterprise. Going to the enterprise, and again, I've done pretty much, other than the last 2 years where I tried my hand at consumer, I pretty much sold my entire career to the enterprise. Going to them with a minimum viable product, otherwise known as prototype, and showing them what you can do and how you solve their problem will get them interested. So, in other words, don't overthink it. Come up with the idea, prove the value, not the technology, the value, and the enterprise will buy.
I've also run 4 startups, 3 venture-backed, and this one, which is my own. And in each one of the cases, I focused on partnerships. There are larger companies that already have established relationships with those enterprises. Leverage them. As we talked about before, they don't have mobile expertise today. Get in through them and be able to leverage it. Also, it gives you an upside of an exit strategy at some point to be able to cash out on some of your work there. But go do partnerships. You got to remember, the people in the enterprise have been downsized and downsized and downsized, and they have very little time. So to add yet another organization to their schedule is hard. Go find someone that's got a good relationship with them already, that's somewhat related to what you're doing, and see if you can partner with them.
Yeah, I would echo that. I mean, find a channel, and I think that when folks think about that, they typically think of, let me go find someone to resell my product. I would say that if you can do it, that's great. That's actually pretty hard work to go do. That's a sales cycle in and of itself. I agree. What we're saying is find that trusted partner you can go to market with. That could be a carrier, right? It doesn't have to be a reseller. It could be a referral partner. It could be one of the device manufacturers themselves. It could be a trade association who you're solving a problem that their members need to know about, and it's one of their hot topics. So again, I'd say when you find that channel, what you really want to find is that trusted partner that is addressing the needs of your specific buyer, not the enterprise as a whole, but your specific buyer, right? So if you're selling something for, governance, risk, and compliance, that's who you need to talk to, right? You don't want to talk to the person developing apps for mobile banking in the consumer space, right? You want to talk to the legal and the other guys. So I'd say, make sure that you understand what is your target audience, who is your buyer in the enterprise, and then find the partner that is speaking to them. And that could be, again, we've had good luck working with trade associations to go, in essence, hit that buyer directly in an educational format, and then move from there into a sales cycle.
What do you mean by educational format?
Examples, we do a lot of work with HIMSS for those folks in the healthcare space. HIMSS is one of the big trade associations for medical. And so what HIMSS, the trade association, is typically looking for is how do they get out and educate their members and deliver value to their members about mobility. Well, mobility is new, it's scary, there's a lot of privacy law issues, there's a lot of challenges. In essence, their members are clamoring for it. We ran a webinar about mobility in healthcare. And the HIMSS folks came back to us and said that it was not only was it the largest number of registrants by 3 times that they've ever had of anything they've ever done, I think we had like an 80% attendance rate, right? Which from a webinar standpoint, if we're getting people to register, typically you're happy if 10% show up, right? We had 80% attendance. And so the HIMSS folks after that were, let's just say, extremely eager to work with us because they were able to, in essence, show their membership that they were delivering value because they were talking about topics and solving problems that their members had.